Hello and welcome to the Flory Models Friday Roundup Show. Here we are with you on the 25th of August 2023. Almost another month gone. But actually we've had a really good week this week. We had a few technical issues. I would like to apologise for obviously Tuesday afternoon show, Wednesday's show. We got it down packed by Thursday, and then obviously we're okay today. But it did have a little bit of problems. I don't know what it was this moment. For people who know about it, we just had an upgrade. Well, not an upgrade, it was actually just an update on one of the pieces of software, and it completely threw everything. So I don't know if it got patched and they fixed it, but whatever it was, I was completely 8-bit during the mid part of the week. Also, we had a few sound issues, so apologies for some of the overdubbing. I've had to dub myself working on this one because it turned out we had no sound. So again, a little bit annoying, but obviously we can work around these things, and we got there in the end, which is the main bit. Anyway, good week this week. As you can probably see, the big news is the Harrier is really, really coming together now. And as I said before, this kit, considering it's 50 years old, is an absolute beast. And it's a real shame that it's not readily available with this kit. Yes, of course, you can get the GR1, but you can't get the GR3 or the Sea Harrier or the Shah. So, but again, I think this is the best looking of all the Harriers, this and the FA2, but then being a bit of a Navy buff, I am biased, clearly. But generally, it's an absolutely fantastic kit. And we turned a bit of a milestone last week when we finally got it out of, off the bench and get some primer onto it and go through. But again, it's been one of these kits which has taken, to be honest, time. It's not even hard work, it's just time. It's just making sure everything fits right, and we just made a few little corrections to the kit. So we did do this top plate, as we said before. We did this spine area, we profiled all of that. Obviously we sanded a lot of it down so we can just about see some of the the divots in the riveting, but obviously we didn't want full on riveting and stuff like that. But I think we've definitely got there now. And again, now it's done, we've put this work in, we've got some paint onto it. It's actually looking pretty good kit, and as good as anybody else's out there. And I still maintain, for a kit that's 50 years old, it's the same age as me, it's doing incredibly well. It's doing better than I am. And, it was lightning years ahead of anything out there at that point. This thing was fully recessed in 24th scale. Huge amount of kit, a huge amount of plastic, and it is absolutely a gem of a kit. But anyway, we have turned the corner now. We've got it unmasked, we've got some intakes showing, we've done the underside, we've got the wheel wells all painted, all the bits down here are done. So we've got the guns all painted, we've got the weapons pylons painted, we've got the gear all painted. So we have absolutely pushed on with this one. So again, good worth a week onto this one, a good week's work on this one, and actually it's come out really, really nicely. And this will be one of my firm favourites. We've all got those kits that actually they're a right handful and they're a nightmare, but in some ways it's quite nice because it pushes your modelling skills, to see how far you've come as well. Because obviously if you're just working on normal AAA title kits, they're not much of a challenge. But sometimes when you have got to get in there and make some, subtle changes, but I think really worthwhile, like reprofiling up here, and obviously this bit on the back, and then obviously rescribing and re-riveting. This is something I couldn't have done even 10 years ago because it would have just been a mess. My rescribing has come along in leaps and bounds, and it's nice that, just chipping away at kits and doing a little bit of rescribing here and there and stuff like that. But when it comes to it and you've actually got to rescribe the entire thing and re-rivet it of this scale as well, it's actually turned out really, really nicely. So I'm very, very happy of how this one's come along. And again, like I said, this will live, hopefully, when we get it done, with all my other massive kits that have been a right handful, like the VC10 in 72nd scale. That was a bit of a handful. Like the A10 as well, the 32nd one. That was a little bit of a handful with all the upgrades we gave to it. So again, those troublesome kits can actually be some of your most favourite kits. And I wouldn't be put off by doing older kits. This year we've done lots of old stuff. We've done some old classic monogram kits this year as well. And again, they're fantastic kits. They're very, very overlooked nowadays. You get the new tool, modern ones come along. Sometimes the old ones are even better than the newer ones. It's one of those things. They're replaced for replace's sake. Maybe the company's not around anymore. Maybe the molds aren't available, so they're retooled. But the old ones sometimes can be really, really nice. Challenging and timely to put to right and to make it all right. But at the end of the day, you're going to come back and go, do you know what? I'm really, really happy how this one turned out. And this is going to live just with the other ones that will be my memories for my life about the time that we actually tackled doing the Sea Harrier. And I actually was really happy with the way it turned out in the end. But anyway, more about this one a little bit later. So we all started on Monday we were off talking about 3D printing. As we said before, we've been doing a lot of 3D printing of late. So I did a follow-up. As you might know, about a month ago, I bought a 3D printer, and I've been, basically pushing through with it and just basically learning about it. And as I said before, it is a steep learning curve to learn it all, but it's a short curve, so you can get your head around it quite quickly. It's just that if you're like me and you don't really know anything about it, it's all very well going out and buying this stuff and watching a couple of YouTube videos on it and some reading the instructions, but you need to get a feel for it. You need to know what works for you, and obviously with 3D printing the variables are infinite. Not only is it goes down to the files you've downloaded, what they're like, but also it may be a case of like what your printer is, how it likes to be set up, what type of resin you've got, the temperature you're doing and using, and things like that. So again, there's lots of variables when you're dealing with 3D printing, but I think I've got my head around it now. I'm pretty much there, and as you can see down below, hopefully next week we'll get up on sale some of the bits you can see. So we've actually got the Harrier nozzles. They'll be available to buy, so if you're ever going to be planning on doing a 24 scale Harrier, I've got your back on that one. We've got the seats, so this is the Mark 10 for the Sea Harrier, so we've got those seats done, and obviously we've got the sidewinders as well. So the big 24 scale one-piece resin sidewinders, which are particularly nice as well. And we've got a couple of tool holders, as you can see just down in front of you. So we've got those done as well. And to be honest, I have my two just here in front of us. So what you'll be getting or can be able to get is going to be something like these. So we got these, which are the actual holders, which are very nice done as well. 3D printed by my good self here. Comes complete with a coat of primer over it, just so you're all set. And then if you wanted to, you could paint them up. So to be honest, this one's in gloss black. I wish I'd done it in flat black now, and I've just popped around it and did some highlighting and stuff. But you can do them to whatever you want. And this one obviously holds the micro set and sole, and we've got the crystal clear in there, and it's got a little brush holder in the back as well for your bits and pieces. And again, they will be available hopefully at the end of the month, so keep an eye out for this one next Friday's show. So anyway, if you do want to find about this one, members, you can go off and see this one. For people who want to see my other video about it, it will be available free to watch next week. I'm making some of my old video builds and stuff like that will be available on the free section, so keep an eye out on your social media, on your YouTube, or obviously here on the Flory Models site as well. So if you're not a member, you can see all about those. Members, you can see those now. Anyway, that took us over to Tuesday, which was a little bit like Car Crash TV, because I am a very much 8-bit on this. As you can see, I'm probably stuttering and jerking around and all the rest of it. It doesn't look too bad here, but trust me, it was awful during the actual recording of it. We were talking all things, as always, on the Tuesday show. It's free to watch. You can come and join us, 3 o'clock. It's live. You can comment live with us, ask questions, anything else. And I was talking about airbrushing, fixing some airbrushing problems, which has worked quite well, because lots of you have now learned that actually your airbrush isn't broken. You just needed to do a couple of little bits to it. So hopefully I've talked you through on that one. Matt was poking his stick and he was doing his weathering, which is down in here. As you can see, he was weathering along with the Land Rover, say adding grime and texture and things like that as well with oils. So poking it with a hairy stick, as we call it, and going through with that one as well. Little flicking techniques, all the rest of it. Again, these are all free to watch. It's basically a laid back bit of time with us. So if you want to come and join us on a Tuesday afternoon live at 3 o'clock, obviously it is a recorded. You can watch this one at any point as well, and it is free like we said before. So if you want to join us for that show, we'd love to have you along with that one. That takes us over to Wednesday. So we were talking all things PM at the PM store. So obviously the latest arrivals, what's come in, that lovely Mystère that Matt's got in front of him. Very nice colourful French jet as well. So we got those in. Also, we have got a very big announcement tomorrow live, which will be around about probably 10:30. We've got a live show tomorrow. I'll talk about that in a minute, but you can join us as well for that particular show. But we have got a little bit of a special announcement of something that PM Models has been up to and working on for a little while, and something we're quite excited about as well. So you want to join us for that. The usual thing, we talk about all your pre-orders, what's new releases, what's coming out, what's not, what we're waiting on, and everything in between. So that's your sort of weekly update of what's going on at the PM store and everything that's going on in the modelling industry. That takes us over to last night, which was a members show, which again, if you're not a member, you should be, because we talk about all things on here that we're not allowed to talk about, because we'll probably get demonetized and all things like that on YouTube normally. So we were talking to obviously Nathan after his famous trip over to Colombia. where obviously his lovely wife Ange had a little bit of a fall off of a balcony, and he was telling us all about the hospitals, and actually they're really cheap. So if you're planning on hurting yourself, do it in Colombia, it would seem, because they're nice and cheap over there. But anyway, well, usual thing, answering all your questions. To be honest, we had a lot of laughs, a lot of giggles last night. And remember, people, I am joking. 90% of what comes out of my mouth is rubbish. Remember that. So some of the comments and stuff that I don't say on live YouTube, shall we say, open to the public, I say in here. So we had a few rants, we had a few giggles, we had a few laughs, the usual bits and pieces. Take it all with a pinch of salt. It's all supposed to be light-hearted, so please don't get too aggravated or angry with us over that. We're just having a bit of a giggle. But anyway, members, if you want to catch up with the members show, don't forget you can go off and you can see that one in your usual places. And that gets us bang up to today. So in here we got part 9 of the actual Harrier. Said before, we've gone around and we've rescribed the entire thing, we've re-riveted the entire thing, going through all of those motions, and then finally, as you can see here, we've got a coat of primer on it so we can look back at and the lovely work we did. I spoke about obviously this before, but I wanted to cover it again. The carving tape with lines in it's been an absolute game changer for me. It's made by Display. Go and get some because it's mega. It's so much easy to do this with a carving tape with lines on it, so you can see where you're going and lining them up and all things like that. And as you can see, that's my lovely rescribing. And again, like I said before, sometimes you've just got to do it, and rescribing is one of those things. It's practice, 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 practice. The more you do it, the more that you actually get your head around it, and the easier it becomes. If you don't do it very often, it's very difficult. It's one of those, a little bit of the old muscle memory and things like that to get the depths right and stuff, but that just literally comes with time and practice. So if you do got an old kit, have a go at it and sort of improve your skills, and then one day you'll come along something like this which needs to be completely redone, and you should be absolutely fine with it. Anyway, as you can see down in there, we've gone round, got it all tidied up, looking nice. We then got the cockpit all sorted and fitted. We've got all the lumps and bumps fitted to it, the air scoops and stuff like that. We've got those in. We did another coat of white primer just down in those intakes, making sure they're all good so we can mask those all up. And then obviously we added a few little lumps and bumps like the strap on the back and things right the way through on this one. Then it's over to the actual spray base. So we got in the usual thing, light fasted or colour fasted, all the clear parts. So they've got nice solid bars in them by going over the one with a little bit of black. So it's just flat black right over those areas. And then we were looking at the actual paint colours. So obviously the primer isn't a million miles away from sea grey. But obviously we're using dark sea grey, not dark sea blue, because they're completely different things. And we wanted to basically have a look through and see how it was going to be and how it was going to stand up and what the different colours were. Eventually I did decide on we were going to do a little bit of both. So we actually came in with a little bit of light ghost added to dark sea grey, because I just wanted to lighten it a little bit and go through. And then obviously we painted up the entire thing, as you can see here, as we make our way through. And yeah, and as you can see, she came out very, very nicely. Very, very happy with it. As you can see down in here. And I'm quite happy with the colour. As I say, on Monday you'll get the next part which covers all the post shading you can see down in here and all the other bits we've done. So we've obviously added the black bits up here. We've got the tan for the sensors. They are put on it and all the rest of it, and installing the gear and all stuff like that, which will be on Monday's part with you. But again, very, very happy with it. It's pushed on very, very nicely. Last up, people are asking about the actual TIE Fighter, because this got finished on the Tuesday show. We were working on this the week before. It's all done now and we're all good to go. I am going to do something with these at some point. I don't know exactly when, because we're going to be doing some sci-fi soon as full video builds, where I'll be working on a giant scale TIE Fighter, 3D printed and resin TIE Fighter, which will probably be next month now. But looking forward to that one. I've also got some other, we're getting near the end of the year and I am having a week off because obviously I'm getting married in a couple of weeks. But plan of action really for the end of the year, once this one's done, which I'm hoping might be by the end of next week, fingers crossed, we can get this one sort of done and dusted. And then obviously we're going to be working on the Viking. So I've got the old Esky Viking, which is obviously now redone by Italeri, which it's moved out of the way. I've also got a boatload of resin for it. We haven't done one of this for a while now, but talk about this more next week, but I've got all the resin upgrades for it. So we've got cockpits, we've got obviously all the details for the nose underneath it, we've got the wing fold set for it, we've got absolutely everything you can throw at a Viking. So again, that'll be a nice build, because overall it's quite nice. But again, like this one, we're probably going to have more riveting to it, we're going to have more detail to it, a lot of scratch building. It's going to be a real fun kit as well. And again, I can have it all folded up so it's nice pocket size and goes through. So if people have been asking about aftermarket gear going into kits recently, because we have done a lot of scratch building, I know, then obviously look out for this one, because this one's going to be completely all the bits for it, and we'll go for it and take it in stages. Looking forward to it. Always wanted to build this kit, never built one. Now we've got the opportunity to have a go at it. So that should be really, really nice. After that, we have got over there, I've got kindly sent to me by one of the members, a giant TIE fighter, which is 3D printed and resin. So again, looking forward to doing that one. That's probably going to be straight off the back of that one as make our way through. And then obviously members, I will be putting up next week a poll for the next build we do as part of the live show. So obviously we're doing the live shows, you know, we did Blue Thunder, we've done the TIE fighter, and I've got a couple of kits down in here I think will make good live video builds as well. So keep an eye out for that one next week. Anyway, last up, we just pop over to our sponsor for the show over at the PM Models. So as we were saying before, we've got a live show tomorrow, starts at 10 a.m. in the morning, so set your alarm clocks nice and early if you're in different parts of the world, and you can join us live. To go along with that, PM Models has got a August bank holiday sale, because obviously it's bank holiday weekend this weekend, so if everyone's having a nice time for that, and I hope the weather's good for you, but in the meantime, if it's not and it's pants, you can pop over to here, watch us, and obviously we've got a bit of a sale going on. So we've got 15% off all Airfix, all Tamiya, and all Edward kits. All right, and then there's 10% off all the other kits in the stock. And I said down here, it doesn't include already discounted kits in the new arrivals and special offers area. It's going to start from midnight on the 25th and it's going to finish on midnight on the 27th. All right, so you can see that one down in here. So new arrivals hasn't really changed much, as you might imagine, from beginning of the week. We've got a lot of stuff is coming in today, which is what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So we've got huge deliveries turning up at the warehouse today. It might even be there by now, for all I know, filming this at midday. But anyway, got lots down in here. We're going to take some pictures of it when it all racks up, and we can show you all about that one. But again, down in here, we've got a few bits that we spoke about last week. So if you want to grab any of these in new arrivals, we've got the Apache for the Mark 1 British one. So if you want to get that one, that's on special offer as well. Speaking of special offers, we've also got obviously a bit of a plethora down here. As I said before, it changes all the time. So we've got some Shermans, we've got the Scimitar down in there, we've got that L39, and then obviously all the kits we've probably spoken about before. But again, as soon as they're gone, they get removed from here, and then they'll get replaced by something else right the way through. All right, so have a look around in these ones, and obviously got our damaged box section, things like that, for kit reviews and all those bits and pieces down in there as well. So again, we've got all your paints, got all your tools. We had big deliveries recently in of Tamiya paints, so we've got almost a full restock of all the Tamiya paints back in, the lacquers as well, things like that, Real Colours, Hataka, all the other ones, and all your other tools and bits and pieces, and all your glues and fillers and stuff like that. So you can keep an eye on that one. So yes, big news is Matt's on holiday next week. He's off to Greece. I don't know why either. He shouldn't be allowed as far as I'm concerned. So he's leaving us for a week. But that doesn't mean the PM store closes, because Matt has handed over the reins over to Andy. So Andy's looking over the way with Lisa. So the pair of them will keep you going. So if you've got any kits and you want to order, pre-orders, things like that, it's all still operationally exactly as normal with the PM store. So if you're going to get anything, that's fine. Tuesday though, for the live show, you've just got me, so I'll be flying solo on Tuesday. So if you've got any questions, things like that, love to have you along for the Tuesday show as well. So a little bit of fun. And then on Thursday, I think I've got a little bit of help. Someone's coming in as well to help me with the show for that one. So still lots to come. Anyway, that's about it from me this week. Don't forget, tomorrow, 10 a.m, we're going to be live. Ask us any questions. We're on YouTube and social media and all the other bits and pieces as normal. So if you want to hear or talk about anything, any questions, things like that, hopefully we'll do a little bit of building. We've got the rest of the team in with us as well. You can join us along for that one. We'd love to have you along. In the meantime, as always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with the great work from the gallery. So until tomorrow, 10 a.m, happy modelling. Take care.
I was not ready to falling like I'm wasted.